Hey guys, so today we are doing a draw with me. Sorry for the angle. I am so sorry if it's bad. Um, I don't know how to set this up, but I try my best. So if you've seen in the title, today we are drawing Dan characters because I love them. I've already done another spread on them, but I want to do them again. So I'm going to look up some ideas on Pinterest and I'll take you guys with me and then I will be drawing them. So, yeah. Okay, guys, so this is me on Pinterest on my iPad. So, first here, I'm going to search up Dan and just try to get a feel of what characters that I actually want to do and to be able to find some references of them. So again, I have drawn like some of the characters before. I drew Momo and I drew Okaroon before. And so I wanted to try out some different characters, but I was a bit nervous or whatever, and I didn't want to try another character and mess up. So I just decided to do them again. Plus, there wasn't that many like photos of like the other characters actually popping up. So it was just like I just didn't feel like looking it up. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I already had like a whole pin dedicated to like Dan like fan art or whatever, but I was just going through and saving some new pictures and just seeing what I thought would be cool. Something I love, what you see a lot during this, is you can really see so much of the color and stuff that people are using during the fan art, which is a thing that the show uses a lot too. And I think the show does such a great job of using colors, especially in that like opening scene. It is just so beautiful, and I would love to make a painting like that. And that photo that you just saw with Ken in his Turbo Granny form is actually the form that I'm going to do him in. I just thought it was so interesting. And before I just drew him as himself. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'll try something different this time. Like, I love his vibe when he gets into that form when he's so laid back and like not even like lazy and just doesn't feel like doing anything. It's so funny and so cute. And I love it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try something different. So I decided to do that, which is going to wind up being quite like a problem for me later on, but it's all good. And so here now you see me just trying to go in and trying to find guys or people who have similar features to the people that I want to draw. I have like more semi realistic styles, so I like to draw, like when I draw my anime characters and stuff like that, I try my best to just find people who have some kind of features that are similar to the people that I'm drawing and trying to like mesh them together with the anime character. It's a lot. So it's hard to explain. But yes, that's basically what I was doing. So because I knew I wanted to draw him in his Turbo Granny form from like a side angle, first I tried to find like guys from that angle. And now I'm just going in and just showing my pins or whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm just looking up like girl faces or whatever, again, just to do the same thing and just try to find girls who look just a little bit like Momo. Of course, I'm never going to find a girl who looks just like her because she is an animated character, but just trying to find girls with her type of features. So, like her big eyes that she has, and I feel like she kind of has like a sharper jawline and like a button nose, and just something to give me a reference so that way when I'm drawing it, I can kind of like understand the form in like a realistic way, so that way it's easier for me to mesh both the worlds. Because if I was just trying to draw her with just her like just photos of her from the anime, it's going to be 10 times harder because again, that's not my style. So I'm just trying to find girls that I can reference from. So yeah. So next, I'm just looking up reference photos of Momo from the anime, from the angle I want her in. I'm genuinely just going to draw her in a very basic, very just like front-facing position or whatever. But she's so adorable and so cute. You guys don't even understand how happy I am that like the second season came out. Like I went to go see the premiere of it or whatever, like the little movie thing they put out. First of all, I thought it was going to be a real movie. I thought that arc was going to be like an actual movie. I was so mad when I didn't see the whole thing. I was like, wait a minute, like, where's the end of the arc at? And they were like, oh, homegirl, you thought this was a movie? Like, no, girl. But now I think I'm just showing you guys like my pins and all the ones that I've saved. But and now that we have all of our pins together, we are now going to head over to the drawing. So I will see you guys there. All right, guys, I am back. You just saw me looking on Pinterest. So I think I'm probably already gonna explain this part, but I think I'm gonna do Okaroon and Momo. I think we're gonna have Okaroon kind of like in a this type of, like in that form. And we're just gonna have Momo facing forward or whatever. This will be a quick little cute spread. I think I'm not gonna really do any anatomy and poses and stuff because I am working on that, and you don't want to see me try to draw bodies. Seriously, you do not want to see that, girl. It is not good. We are just going to do a little simple one. Okaroon is going to be a little difficult because he's in this type of form, so it would be a little hard to draw him, but hopefully not too bad. I don't think it'll be too bad. So, you know. So let's get into it. Okay, so for the remainder of the video, I'm honestly just going to talk over myself because, at least for the most part, because I could not draw and speak at the same time. It was so difficult. I either kept being silent or just didn't have anything to say, so I just kept saying the same thing. So I'll just say what I have to say here. And first, I'm going to give you guys a synopsis of the show because you might not have watched it before. If you haven't, you definitely should, especially if you love anime. It is really good. There is a couple strange parts, but for the most part, it's really, really good. So this is what Google says. The series centers around Momo, who believes in spirits, and Okaroon, who believes in aliens. They make a bet to prove each other wrong, leading them into paranormal battles and supernatural encounters. This is definitely like a really good synopsis of the show. Basically, Momo, she's kind of like this popular chick or whatever, and Okaroon, he is basically an otaku, basically, and he just loves aliens and stuff like that. And basically, they wind up meeting, and she winds up helping him because he's like getting bullied or whatever. And so basically, he gets upset at her because she doesn't believe in aliens, and she gets upset at him because he doesn't believe in ghosts. So they both send each other to like these supernatural hotspots or whatever. And he winds up meeting some sort of like spirit, ghost, whatever. Her name is Turbo Granny, and winds up getting possessed by him, basically. And then she goes to this alien hotspot and she winds up getting abducted by aliens. So, yeah, it is definitely a super cool show. I think you guys should check it out. So, here I am just doing the guidelines for her face. I'm doing the basic method, the circle method, and the two lines. So before I actually didn't even used to like this method, and I used to try to find like other methods that I could use, but then I just was like, no, this one works the best. Like, cause some of them other ones are mad complicated for no reason, and nobody feels like doing all that. So you see here, I'm just using this girl's face and just trying to like mesh it with Momo's face and kind of like what I think her face would look like if she was a real person, kind of, sort of. So yeah, so I will leave myself to do that. Okay, now with that done, now I'm going to start working on the eyes. So the type of eyes that I envision for Momo is she really has these really big eyes, but they're not doe eyes in my opinion. They're almost like sharp but still really big. And I don't know how else to describe it except for just like that. Like she has these big eyes, but they're also still kind of like have a sharpness to them because it's not like overly girly and cutesy, but it's also not giving totally tomboyish either. So you see here, we are going to use that horizontal, I think it's horizontal line right there, and we are going to draw her eyes right on that line. I think here I'm just kind of explaining like my process and like explaining the line and whatever. I don't know if the circle method you're actually supposed to draw the line where your eyes are supposed to be at, but that's how I have always done it. Like that's why I draw my eyes that line so far down on the circle, because once I draw in the rest of the facial structure, that's where the eyes should go. So now I am going to attempt to draw them. Oh, and here I was just mapping out like where each of my facial features should go or whatever. Like I was like faintly drawing them in and whatnot. And the reason why I always do that, and I think everyone should do that, just because if you start drawing, especially if you're doing it traditional, if you're doing it digital, you don't really have to worry about it. But if you're doing traditional art and you start drawing in those facial features and you realize too late after you've drawn each and every one of them that that is wrong and it's off, oh, you're screwed. Not saying this method will always work. There are times where I've done it and the facial features are still wonky and they are not completely proportionate. But for the most part, trying to like very gently and very lightly map out where each one should go does help me a lot. And I usually don't mess up and it usually is very proportionate. So yeah, so now I am going to try and draw these eyeballs. And guys, I was so nervous while doing this. Like, that's why I keep erasing so much. I was so scared because although I drew like Momo and them before, it was just like, I don't know, it was just like nerve wracking to me, like trying to do it on camera and stuff like that. Like, I don't like when people watching when I draw. Like, I always mess up. And I don't know if that's just me or if other artists do the same thing, but it's like so weird to me when people watch me as I draw. And I really wanted it to look like the characters. And I was like, yo, what if I mess this up and it looks nothing like them? So I definitely was trying my best. And there you see in the corner Momo's cute little face as I try to just figure out, how to get her eyes right or whatever. You can see me looking at it for so long. I was so stressed out. It is not even funny. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to turn out terrible. But I think it turned out pretty good in the end. So that's all that matters. Okay, so I think at this part I start adding the pupil to my eye or like the iris or whatever the freak it's called, that part. And so basically how I do my eyes is after I do the initial like eye shape or whatever. And eyes are something I have worked on for years. Just letting you guys know this. Like I have watched probably every eye tutorial there is to ever exist. I don't know why. I feel like a lot of beginner artists are obsessed with drawing eyeballs, and that was me. And I just drew eyes nonstop, and so I became like very like I don't know obsessed over them. And I just that's the one thing. If I forget how to do anything else, oh I know how to draw an eye. Like tell me to draw an eye, and I got you. So, but yeah, so after I'm done doing the initial shape, I will do like the waterline inside the eye first. Then I usually do like the eyelid after, and occasionally I'll do like the little wrinkles that's under the eye. I don't always do them because sometimes in my style it makes them look like the person has eye bags, and we do not want that. We do not want those people looking extra tired and extra stressed out. But sometimes I add them. I think I added them actually in her drawing. So you really can't see it because my big behind hand is blocking the way. But I put in her little her eyes or whatever, and then I think I put some lashes on her, some really tiny lashes on her, and then I started shading her eye. I tried to shade like how the anime was. I don't know why I did that. I don't even shade my eyes like that or whatever. Again, I was nervous, so yeah, and I think I put a little highlighter in her eye. But yeah. So next here, I started working on her eyebrows. So in the show, Momo has some like really straight, really not really thick, but kind of thick eyebrows. So I was trying to mimic that. At first, I wound up changing it later, but at first I kind of mimicked it and still gave her like a little bent at the end or whatever. Again, just to merge that semi-realistic style with the animation style. Later on, again, because I was nervous and trying to make it look like her, I wound up getting rid of it, but you can kind of see her face starting to come together. So that's exciting. Okay, so sorry for my camera keep going in and out of focus. I keep seeing that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so annoying. But next here, I am working on the nose. So when I was recording, I was just basically explaining like the way that I draw my noses is you see those four like little lines there in a diamondy type shape. That's basically what I always do first. I don't remember like where I first learned how to draw noses, but somebody on YouTube, some artist that I used to really love, drew noses like this, and you just make this little like almost diamondy type shape. And then on the two bottom lines, you see me adding in like the nostrils and stuff like that. Um, to be honest, this style of drawing noses just works well for me. And I would say too, like I go back and change it a couple times, but depending on how far apart or close together you make those lines will determine like how big or small the nose will be. Momo kind of has like a buttonish type nose, I guess. I mean, the noses don't really like variate. I feel like kind of everyone's nose looks the same, but that's just like the style of the anime itself. But I don't know, it gives me like button nose vibes, so I had to go back and make her nose smaller, and you can just see me doing that there. But then after I draw the two little lines for the nostrils, then usually what I do is I try to make like the little like skin or the little hump flap things, the skin around the nostril and stuff. And then I think at the end here, once I'm done doing all of that, I will add a little circle on the tip of her nose. I just think it's cute. I like doing that. So, and that'll be that. So yeah. Okay, so next here I'm gonna work on my biggest bow, which is lips. I cannot draw mouths or lips to save my life. I don't know why that is, and I think it kind of has something to do with what I was talking about before. That I worked on eyes or like specific parts so freaking much that I just didn't really focus or pay attention to like other details or other parts of the face, and one of them being definitely is lips. You can see how terrible those look right there. And yes, so that's why I said like if you want to learn how to draw faces, it is going to be a lot, but you should definitely focus on each part of it. Some parts are less important. Like nobody's saying you need to draw an ear perfectly, but the main facial features like the eyes, the nose, the lips, and also the head shape and hair are things that you should definitely work on if that's what you like, if you're trying to draw faces for the first time, because if not you'll get really good at one part but then the rest of it's going to look botched. So it's just like, okay, well, like, what do you do with that, which is what I am currently learning now, and so I have to get some tutorials on how to do that. But yeah, so I just keep fooling around with this. In the end here, I am just gonna make her chewing a piece of bubble gum. So I'm gonna just put a nice big old circle where her lips should be because they were not turning out cute. They just look so weird. And I felt like the top of her face looked like her, but with me adding the lips, it just did not work out. So yeah, and I tried a couple different styles, but I just gave up after a while. Okay, now we're back with another thing I don't know how to draw hair. I am not that good at drawing hair. I've gotten a little better because before I used to be like really bad and I did not understand it in the slightest. But I'm trying to understand it. You guys probably like, girl, how many things do you not know how to draw? The answer to that question is honestly a lot. That's why I keep stressing to learn everything. Because do not become a pro at one thing and then just leave everything else like in the trash. And just because even if you don't want to work on it, oh my gosh, you will regret it so much if you don't in the future, which is what I do now. Like as an artist, I know like steps 1, 12, and 50. Like I can draw eyes, I can draw a face shape, I can kind of get some stuff together. But then like some stuff, I don't know what the heck it is. Like I don't know how to do it. Like for this, I know again the facial structure, I know how to draw noses, I know how to draw eyes, I know how to draw eyebrows, but I can't draw hair. But I can't draw lips. Like I can't draw the body. Like I really backwards. So yes, but you see me adding in her little hair here. And then I'm adding her little bob or whatever. I could honestly made it shorter. I kind of made her hair a little longer than it should have been, but it was all good. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm practically done with her now. I was just, messing with the little bubblegum piece that I was making her chew or whatever and just erasing anything that needed to be erased. I added her name to the top there. Um, And yeah, so she looks super awesome, super cute. I hope you guys like her. I do kind of think it looks like herself. It's a little different from what I wanted her to look like, but I still think she turned out super adorable and so super cute. So next year we are gonna work on Okaroon in his Granny form. So yeah, and that's her. Okay. Okay, now I'm just drawing in the guidelines for Okaroon's face. I grabbed one of those guys that I pinned earlier, and I just started drawing his side profile. It wasn't crazy important. I honestly just needed like the top part of his side profile because his mask that he wears covers like 95% of his face. So I didn't really, need too much of it, but still gotta make sure that the anatomy looks good before we start putting stuff over it. Cause if you don't and the anatomy is like really bad, it is going to show, and it's gonna look weird. So yeah. Okay, so at this part, I started working on his little mask that he wears in his Togurani form. I definitely was like so confused at first on how to draw it. I was like, how the heck am I supposed to do this? Like, I was trying to measure out here, like, how big was his mask supposed to be on his face, like, how far it was supposed to go. I do think in the end, I kind of made it a little short, but because I didn't draw like his neck or the rest of his body in, you can't really tell, so it doesn't really matter. But so yes, so here I am just measuring out how big it's supposed to be. Okay, guys, so at this point, I found this really, really good like fan art of him that helped me so much with like the proportions and like the teeth because that mask has so much freaking teeth in it. And like, again, don't know really how to draw teeth, but this helped me so much. and like help me like understand how the heck I was going to do this. And also because I couldn't find like a side profile of him from like the manga or from the anime so I could like actually see his proportions. So this helped me a lot. This genuinely was a lifesaver. I'm gonna make sure to put a picture of it up. But yes, so this helped me so much. And you just see me in here trying to put the little teeth and stuff. Okay, so at this point I was done with the teeth, and don't they look so good? It's like so different from my usual style because I usually always draw like really cutesy stuff or whatever. So this was like a little bit more creepy, a little bit more like yeah, I don't know. And it just turned out so good. And I kind of drew his little cape a little bit there in the back. And I think now I was gonna start working on either his face or like his hair. No, his face, I think first here. So you're gonna see that, but it looks really cool, right? Like I'm so proud of myself for making this mask. It looks so freaking cool. I'm so happy I was able to draw it like that because I thought I was gonna mess that drawing up. Again, I was so nervous, and I don't know why I chose like harder thing. I should have just chose something easy to draw. I chose like something that was kind of hard, and I was just like, yeah, like girl, no, because I was so freaking stressed. But I think it turned out really good. So again, here you see me drawing his little face in or whatever. I was trying to make his eyes a little bit more like dead, I guess. I don't really know. Kind of just more like chill or relaxed or kind of lazy ish, I guess. Because, like in that form, he just doesn't feel like doing anything and he's not all like wide eyed and stuff like that. Like how he is regularly. He's not like all nerdy. He's a little bit more like laid back and reserved. So I tried to imitate that when I did this. And I think I did a good job of doing it. So, yeah. Okay, here I started messing around with like his glasses and then I just started doing his hair and stuff. Again, we know that I suck at hair, but I think it turned out really well in the end. I really just tried to go for like really just like big shapes because it almost looks like his hair has been like electrocuted or I don't know, something like yeah. So I tried to mimic that vibe because see, I'm just doing really like big and sharp shapes, not really doing any of like that soft stuff like how I did for Momo or whatever, like no real curves or whatever, really just hard straight lines. And I think that turned out so well for this and stuff, and you're gonna see it really come together, and I think it just looks really really good, so I'm happy. Oh, yes, you guys. I know you guys can't really see it, but his hair came together so much. So much. And then his glasses too, I made them bigger and they just look so good now. It was just looking all so good. I was so happy. And I was like, oh, that's me trying to get the excess, like all that little dark like pencil stuff on your eraser. I have to erase so many times. I'm trying to get that off. Because I hate when I'm trying to do something and then I start erasing and then it just like makes like these black smudge marks that actually irritates me so bad. So I was trying to get that off. But yes, doesn't that look good? Like I know you can't really see it, but it was good. It was looking so good. I was so proud. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm eating down. So yeah. Okay, so now Ogre was all done. I wrote his little name at the bottom there, and then I also was writing just like Dan to Dan in that big, very edgy font that they have everything written in or whatever. That's what I tried to do for each of their names or whatever. And so, yes, that's the end. I think I'm gonna flip here to my other page that I did. Aren't they so cute? I'm gonna insert a picture of them like from above so you can actually like really see them. But I think they genuinely turned out so good. I'm so happy with it. When I was doing it, I wasn't the happiest because I was like, okay, they don't really look like themselves. Like Momo didn't really look like herself. But you know what, guys? I think it turned out pretty darn good. So I'm not too mad to be honest. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna cut to where I showed you the other page now. Yes, so here's me flipping back and forth between each of the pages, and you can see the other one, the old one that I did a couple months ago. Isn't that one so cool too? Like the other one, if I flip back, I think they look really like themselves, and so I did a really good job. Like I ate that joint down, but it's okay because they both turned out pretty cute, so I'm not too upset here. But yeah, so guys, I'm gonna just keep messing around with stuff. This is now the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my first draw with me. I think I've only done paint with me before. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more, just let me know. Of course, make sure to subscribe if you like this video and leave down a comment again telling me if you want to see more of this. And yeah, so I will see you guys next time. Bye.